has announced that he wants to raise the minimum age for marriage to 18. Now, currently, the rules are that you can get married at 16 if you have your parents' consent, and 18 without their consent. He said his reasoning for this is because he says he wants to stop young, vulnerable teenagers being pressured into marrying under cultural slash religious pressures. So, what do we think about this?
I do see the integrity of it. I do see the value of it because 16, 17 is still very, very young. And there are definitely situations where you're I mean, I don't want to. I'm very reluctant to agree with him on
Yeah.
even partially. I'm very reluctant to agree with him, but I do partially agree with him that there are cases where there are young, vulnerable, teenagers that might be pressured into it or whatever else. However, so obviously, like, I'm Muslim. Speaking from a Muslim, like a Islamic perspective, a lot of young Muslims they do get married young, and that is because in Islam, like the Prophet has said, like in Islam we believe that there are three things that should never be delayed, like the burial of a body once the body has died, prayer when the call to prayer has been given, and marriage when the right person has been found. So in Islam, it does make things a little bit techie because there are cases also where there are young people who they have found like the right person for them, and they want to do things the halal way, they want to do things the Islamic way, and just get married straight away to basically rule out committing zina, which is like extramarital like sex and temptation and stuff like that. So I think that would make it probably difficult for those people, because that is also a valid thing to do.
Mhm. I think the thing to realize as well is that the people who, because obviously again there's the difference between forced and arranged marriage. The
Right.
people that are being forced to marry people, if you ban, if you take it up to 18, that's not going to change that. All it's going to mean is
Mm.
that
The parents will
basically,
just wait 2 years.
or they'll just put them on a plane.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
that's true. That's
so
true. Oh my God, yeah.
I don't think, and if anything, in the cases of forced marriage, that would probably make things worse.
Worse for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So, don't know whether it's
Or
a very
they'll
good
just do,
idea.
to be honest, like they'll just do it a different way. Like they'll
Yeah.
just do like a religious ceremony, or they'll do it hidden, like a hidden ceremony.
Yeah, because like realistically,
Mhm.
like you're not. I don't think you're married until you actually go like to the town hall thing and sign
The
it
civil
here, is it?
ceremony,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
was gonna say you could have like a nikah done or a nankaraj done
Yeah.
or something. You could do the
mm,
religious side of it, and then
Exactly.
technically, correct me if I'm wrong, Halima, but then it would be a halal way to
Yeah.
get married,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
despite your age.
Yeah. But I don't
You
know
haven't signed the
actually.
civil
So
register thing.
I'm not sure because obviously, so in the UK we have the Sharia Council, which is like the Islamic government, kind of, basically, just to dumb it down for people who aren't aware of what it is. Sharia is like Islamic law. So the Sharia Council work with like the British law as well. So they have to do, because in Islam, in the Quran, it says that we have to follow the land of the law. So whatever land that you find yourself in, you have to follow the law of that land. Um, I said land of the law. I meant to say law of the land. um, so I don't know. I think the Sharia Council might be working with like the British government to also abide by British government rules. So it might also be a case now where a Sharia Council won't do an Islamic nikah if it's not abiding by British government rule. I'm not sure, but I think that could potentially be the case.
mm,
So techie, very techie.
mm. I think in general over here, like the whole you have to be this age to do this, that age to do that.
Mm.
It is very techy in itself because it. I remember people used to say, "Oh, yeah, you can join the army at 16, but you couldn't buy COD until you were 18." You know what I mean? It's
It seems
weird.
almost arbitrary,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's
it seems
weird.
almost arbitrary, definitely. I think obviously the reason why they've made this law is, as they've cited, to prevent young vulnerable people from being coerced into marriage. So if we've identified that as the problem, is is increasing the age a genuine and effective preventative measure?
No, it's we see this all the time with like forced marriage and topics
Mm,
like where there's cultural differences.
right.
The way that they deal with it is by basically trying to come down on it hard and like saying you can't do this, you need to do that, and
Yeah.
obviously that's not going to work because there are the people that are doing this believe they're doing it for very
The right
valid
reasons, exactly.
So
Yeah.
obviously they're not going to listen to you and say this is, even though it is the law of the land, they're not going to listen to
People
that.
aren't gonna. Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, that's true. If they're doing it in the first place, they don't care. They don't
Yeah.
care about what the government says because they believe they're right. So yeah, maybe in terms of like combating what they said they're trying to combat, maybe it's not too effective. Like more needs to be done, or different things need to be done. Probably.
So do you guys think that if someone does find the right person at the age of 16, etc.,
Yeah.
do you think that they should be able to marry at 16 then?
Yeah, man. I think it's all about agency. Like, it's I don't know. I feel like there's difference between like I know it's only 2 years, but I do feel like there's a big difference between like 16 and 18. Like even like 16, 17, and 18. Those three ages, I do feel like 16. I feel like you're still relatively young, still relatively a kid. At 17, I feel like already your worldview is a bit more mature. Like I don't know. That's how I felt when I was growing up. And then by 18, yeah, definitely, it's a lot more different compared to when you're 16. I think the law that they have now, so 16 with parents' consent, I think it's a good law.
Yeah.
And then 18 is obviously you're an adult, you can do what you want.
But then it is weird though, because technically you can live by yourself when you're 16.
They're just not streamlined, are
Yeah,
they? The
exactly.
laws.
It's nothing's like, it doesn't make any sense.
They're very arbitrary.